Welcome back to the deep dive. So for years, we've talked about the big streaming platforms, Netflix, Hulu, Max, and how they keep their best stuff, their originals, behind these walled gardens, right? That's how they get you to subscribe. But the sources we're looking at this week, well, they suggest those walls might be coming down faster than we thought. Our mission today is to unpack one really specific bit of news about content distribution. Analysts are calling it like a seismic signal. It's making us rethink what exclusive even means now in 2025.
Yeah, and it's genuinely odd because this isn't some small show nobody watched. The really shocking thing here is the complete transfer, host-speaker, all 5 seasons of Solar Opposites.
That's the animated sci-fi hit, right? Started on Hulu.
Which is Disney-owned.
Yeah.
A successful, thriving original series. And now, boom, as of September 28th, all 5 seasons just dropped on Netflix, U.S. and internationally. And the sources we have really underline this. It's a rare exception. You just didn't see this happen. Think about it. Disney licensing a popular, proven show straight to Netflix, their main competitor.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because like you said, this wasn't some failure they were trying to offload. This is Justin Roiland, Mike McMahon. Debut 2020. Critics liked it. Audiences liked it. Known for being sharp, funny. The source even says it was thriving and for good reasons. It was a key Hulu property. So why? Why let it go? The source used this kind of provocative phrase, Hulu fears success. What's that even mean in business terms?
Right, it sounds strange, but it's not really about, being scared. It's about the money, the financial engineering side. When someone says a company fears success in this context, it's usually shorthand. It means they see the return on investment, the ROI, dropping off for that specific show on their platform. Think of it like building a house to get renters. Once it's full, the house sitting there doesn't bring in new money, right? It just keeps the current renters happy. Originals cost a ton up front, and those costs get amortized, spread out over the show's useful life.
Ah, okay. So after a few seasons, the show's already done its main job, pulled in the subscribers it was going to pull in when it was new and buzzy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Once you hit season 4, season 5, most people who really wanted to watch it on Hulu probably have. Or maybe they subscribed and already left. So the power of that show to attract new signups, it drops way down. At that point, Hulu, or Disney rather, has a choice. Let it sit there contributing, maybe incrementally offsetting costs, or license it out to someone like Netflix and get a big, immediate, guaranteed chunk of cash.
Right. And I guess that guaranteed licensing money from Netflix probably looks really good compared to just, I don't know, hoping it keeps a few subscribers hanging around.
It's a major shift in thinking, definitely. Analysts are seeing this as maximizing reach, maximizing immediate revenue, letting that win out over the old keep everything locked up mentality. The source says it suggests a new trend in content distribution. Disney's looking at Netflix's huge global audience, which Hulu just doesn't have in the same way, and seeing potential revenue from a show that's maybe already peaked for them domestically.
But wait, hang on. I got to push back on this a bit. Isn't this terrible for Hulu's brand? Like, if I'm a potential subscriber and I see that really good, successful originals like Solar Opposites just end up on Netflix anyway, why would I bother with Hulu first? Doesn't it kind of devalue the whole Hulu original idea?
That's the gamble. That is absolutely the core risk, and you can bet this was heavily calculated. The thinking, probably backed by data, is this. Yes, the original label is key to get people in the door initially, but people don't really subscribe for just one show anymore, right? They subscribe for a library, a mix of new stuff, and older things. So Disney's likely betting that the big guaranteed paycheck from Netflix is worth more than the, let's say, marginal risk of losing a few potential subscribers who decide to wait. It's a balancing act, a really delicate one. You keep enough new high-profile exclusives coming to keep people interested, but you strategically sell off the rights to your mature hits to bring in cash. It shows how much pressure they're under, from Wall Street to show profit growth in a market that's getting really crowded. And yeah, it means those barriers between platforms are getting blurry.
So Netflix basically becomes a syndicator almost for Hulu's back catalog. Even the hits. What did Netflix say? Why did they want this show?
Well, their official line pointed straight at the show's international appeal. They called it a vital market for the growth of its catalog. So while us talking about it in the U.S. is big news because of the direct competition here, Netflix sees this as a global strategy. They're taking a show that worked well in the U.S. and plugging it into their massive international distribution network. It gets the show seen by way more people worldwide, which, ultimately helps the creators, helps Disney's overall revenue too.
Huh. It's fascinating. The whole dynamic's flipped. Instead of walling off content from competitors, they're using the competitors' reach for monetization. And speaking of competition, we should probably zoom out a bit, look at the source material itself. This came from Softonic, right? When we talk about solar opposites needing reach, it's worth remembering just how noisy the digital world is that these streamers are fighting in.
Exactly. That Softonic source, it's not just about streaming. The context around this news snippet is, well, vast. It covers tons of categories: software dev tools, AI video stuff, security software, games, you name it.
Right, a huge range.
And the point isn't really the specific software. It's the sheer volume of stuff competing for our attention, for your attention as a listener. This solar opposites news is right there next to headlines about, say, Taylor Swift's movie projected to make $35–40 million on opening weekend. That's a huge cultural moment sucking up oxygen.
Yeah, you can't escape that. And other streaming news too, presumably.
The source mentioned some Spanish show hitting #1 on Netflix and getting renewed, BBC Two saving some controversial Bowie doc, and HBO Max doing its thing with Superman. It's just constant churn, content everywhere. So for Disney Hulu, getting eyeballs on their show, even via Netflix, maybe starts to look essential when attention is that fragmented. Exclusivity seems less important than just being seen.
Okay, so this brings us to the big so what then? For us, for the viewers, if this one deal signals a bigger shift, what does it mean for how we watch stuff or even how shows get made?
The potential long-term impact is pretty significant. This inter-platform collaboration, as the source calls it, selling your originals to rivals, it could totally redefine program launch strategies. Think about it. Maybe platforms won't feel like they have to greenlight 10 shows, hoping one becomes a massive hit to pay for everything else. Maybe they focus on fewer, really top-tier acquisitions for themselves, knowing they can make good money licensing out the second-tier or older hits. It changes the whole math of content ownership. An original isn't locked away forever. It's an asset with a life cycle. Maybe it's even designed to be licensed out after its initial run.
So the fight shifts, maybe less about who owns the most shows and more about who's smartest at controlling the distribution of shows at different points in time.
That's a great way to put it, exactly. But, the source rightly cautions. It's early days. We don't really know yet how this affects Hulu's or Netflix's subscriber numbers or the show's overall visibility in the long run. The big question now is, will other services follow this innovative path? If Max, Paramount Plus, everyone starts doing this, then yeah, the whole dynamics of digital content consumption change completely. It becomes much more of a fluid global marketplace for shows.
Yeah, this feels like a landmark moment then. 5 seasons of a hit original show-jumping platforms like this.
Yeah.
It's the clearest sign yet that maybe, just maybe, pure exclusivity isn't king anymore. Revenue maximization seems to be taking over. So wrapping up this deep dive, the key thing for you, the listener, to take away is this. Even the biggest streaming players might be shifting priorities. Getting broad reach, getting immediate revenue, that might now trump keeping every single original locked down forever. Flexibility seems to be the new name of the game.
Which leads us to that final thought we wanted to leave you with. If these platforms, these giants, are now willing to license out their crown jewels, their successful original shows to direct competitors, does that idea of an exclusive original still have the same pull for you? Does it affect your choice of which services to subscribe to, as much as it did, say, 3 or 4 years ago when all this really kicked off? Are you subscribing for exclusive content or just for convenient access? Something to think about.